Alright, this is my first attempt at a video blog on the Goldwing. So I got this bike, it had 7,700 kilometers on it. It's now got 8,940. I'll put this up. I love this bike. This is, I love my Africa Twin too, but this is suited for more what I need. And if I could describe this bike in one word, it would just be smooth. The engine is smooth, the suspension, throttle response. Actually, if you put it in sport mode, it's a little dicey. It gets pretty twitchy. It's got so many features that I'm not used to, like the speakers up front, although I don't ever intend on using them because its speakers are always in my helmet. This is the manual version. It's the armored green color. The only add-ons are center stand and the auxiliary lighting. I'm just going for a little ride. I don't know how long I'll be gone this morning. Got things to do today. The bike is a luxury bike, obviously. Let's just, for fun, let's put the window down and see if it makes a difference on the mic. Yeah, so it's a luxury bike. Seating position's great. I ordered a tall boy seat. That'll bring me backwards 1.5 inches. Not that this is uncomfortable, but I feel like a little bit more legroom would help me. Mirrors in a good position. Lots of torque. Android Auto. You know, there's backlit controls for at night. This lights up as well as the buttons on handlebars. It's got a real horn. What else? It's just, I keep forgetting about all the stuff that this bike has, but oh, tire pressure monitor sensors. I'm gonna put it in sport mode here with the push of a button. So you wait for it to stop blinking. You'll make sure that you're not on the throttle. I'll just show you here what this bike can be like. I mean, it's very agile, to be honest. You can feel the weight compared to the Africa Twin. Like, you can feel that it's heavier, but no problem at all passing vehicles. I can't push this bike to the limits. I don't have enough skill for that. It's dangerous too, obviously, but if you really wanted to, you know, have some fun in the twisties and zip around the corners, no problem. It's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. You can ride across the country or wherever you want to go. Edie and I just came out from out east. We did 4,200 kilometers in 11 days on the Africa Twin, and you know, this bike would have been much suited for that. I think, and then I think, you know, when you want to play around, that's fun as well on some twisty roads. And I think I'm just gonna buy, I'll see what I feel like in the spring, but you know, $2,500 or $3,000 KLR just to get my fix on the back roads every once in a while. I kind of lost that part of it. Now I'm more into, you know, going to see things. You know, even if it's 2,000 kilometers away, I'd like to go see it. Peggy's Cove, and we went around Lake Superior, and I'd also like to go across Canada, right out to British Columbia. I'd like to go to Pikes Peak, Colorado, Tennessee, Blue Ridge Mountains, and that's going to be, the Africa Twin is the wrong bike for that, especially if you're not doing any gravel or off-roading. I want to be comfortable now, and this is it. So these bikes are 31 grand Canadian new, and I saved about 6,500 bucks by buying a year old with only 7,700 kilometers on it, and there's not a scratch or a mark on it. Behind me, I'm going to do a little pull. Also with Android Auto, there's a switch here, volume and the windshield, but the switch, lowering the volume in your helmet, which is really cool. And not that you need to, but say we're setting up our tent and we just want a little music on. This is probably the only time I'd use the speakers on the bike, but you push this button. Push the button and it switches to the speakers. Another feature I like about Android Auto is regardless of where you are, you can always search. You go to categories, gas stations. I'm doing all this with my my left thumb switch. Well, that was the horn, not the blinker cancel. Anyhow, gas station, click on it, add a stop, and it's going to bring you right to the next gas station, coffee shop, restaurant, grocery store, whatever you need. That's very handy instead of getting off and looking at your phone. I know it can be a distraction, but you kind of set it up, and then once it's set, you forget about it. You don't have to constantly be playing with it. Sport mode. I don't think in the early years, the Goldwings didn't handle like this, obviously. I'm taking this corner at almost 120 and it's effortless. I'll go back to tour mode. I ride it mostly in tour mode for a nice relaxed ride. I'll look at 100 kilometers an hour, 2000 RPM. I'll set the cruise. Cruise is set. No hands. I can move on the bike and it's very stable, very low center of gravity. To be honest, even if you don't have much experience, this is one of the easier bikes to ride. This little thing, I don't think it does much, but it's supposed to direct some air towards you. I can feel it here, but as I back my hand up, if it gets weaker, kind of don't even feel it here. But as long as it's moving air, I guess that's the idea. So this joystick is kind of handy. Before you start, you plug everything in, you turn your ignition on, and you know, you can use the joystick to navigate through your menu to set up your music, your map, or whatever you need to do. But I don't think it functions when you're riding. Oh, a little bit. It works for audio. But when you're moving, over here on the left, control is mainly what you're using. I did want a DCT, but the manual was available at a good price, and I mean, it's a Goldwing. The transmission is smooth, the clutch is effortless. It's a hydraulic clutch, obviously. It's the best manual transmission and clutch that I've ever ridden. Not that I have tons of experience, but it is noticeable. You know, and the DCT only has a few extra things that you have to do. There's a second filter when you change the oil. There's a canister filter and an cartridge filter. It's got a parking brake, which is down here on the DCT. So you may have to adjust the parking brake every once in a while. Also, the Goldwing, it's got a single-sided swing arm. There's the shaft and the disc brake on one side, and then the wheel comes off like a car wheel on a hub with 4 or 5 nuts. I'm not even sure if there's 4 or 5 studs. And then the front suspension is it's like an A-arm telelever. You can kind of see it moving here. I'll just put the brakes on. You can see that. So it's a single coil with a single shock. There's no dive on the bike when you slow down, which is kind of weird, but it does. It makes the bike really smooth. It has linked brakes. So the brakes are 320 millimeter dual discs. 6 pistons on each caliper. The brakes are amazing. So if you pull on the front brake handle, the rear are also activated. Same with the rear pedal. Push the rear pedal and both brakes are activated. It's the best brakes I've ever experienced. Very, very good brakes. You know, and this bike is 807 pounds wet. Fairly big bike. But it is less. I think the last generation, 5th generation, was almost 900 pounds, like 880 or 890 or something like that. Obviously, the center of gravity is low because of the flat 6 engine, but also the gas tank. It fills up here, right in the middle, but the gas tank's under the seat. Everything's really low. Panniers are, I think, 30 liters each side. And then the key fob, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just trying to get everything out of the way to explain some of it. The key fob has got a proximity, it's a proximity key fob, just like your car. So when you walk away, everything locks, the panniers lock, and the fuel door locks. Let's see, what else? Here's another cool feature I like on the bike. You turn the wheels all the way to the left, and then crank the ignition to the left, it locks the wheels. So I got a luggage rack coming for here. Nice flat luggage rack. Panniers are pretty nice. It's got a little gold on the engine. It says flat 6. I think it's a good looking bike, to be honest. Really like the blue one too, but the green and the gold is wearing on me. Pretty nice. It's very wide, 200mm tire. I love the exhaust note. It's different. There's a lot of parallel twins in the adventure bike world, and they sound good. V-twins sound good. This is just different. I like the exhaust note on this bike. Parallel twins are cool. V-twins are cool. This flat 6 is just different.